home to Miami. Donald Hollis, the quarterback, was intercepted 6 times. Aragus on the kickoff, and it's Williams from the 9. Williams tackled as he came up just shy of the 25-yard line. 15-yard return. Mike Morton making the tackle on special teams. Doug Flutie, he has been simply incredible at home as a starter, undefeated in the NFL. Offensive line, the big story, Jamie Nails stepping in for the injured Reuben Brown. Nails getting his first start out of Florida A&M. Backs and receivers, Antoine Smith, 77 yards shy of the 1,000-yard plateau. On a 1st and 10. Thurman Thomas starting in the backfield on first down. And this play never gets going as flags come down.
All right, that'll be offsides from the Oakland Raiders.
Encroachment. Number 24, defense. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
That's the rookie Charles Woodson getting caught right off the bat.
Right there's Charles Woodson. He's in that neutral zone right there. He touches the wide receiver. You can't do that before a play is called. And he's just getting a little frisky out there and aggressive. He knows it's a big game for this Oakland Raider football team.
Woodson in a matchup with Eric Moulds. Now Antoine Smith has come on the field for first down for Buffalo. On the handoff, Smith barreling his way across the 30-yard line on a 1st and 5 following the penalty. The Oakland Raiders defense. Wade Phillips talking about the masterful work of Darrell Russell and Russell Maryland. The defensive line in general has done good, strong work for this Raiders D. Linebackers, Greg Biekert leading the team in tackles with 106. And in the secondary, Charles Woodson, the only starter remaining from opening day because of various injuries. After the 3-yard pickup, Smith and Gash in the backfield, Lonnie Johnson in motion. On 2nd and short, Flutie will put it in the air for the first time. Off the pump fake, Flutie trying to run, and not much there for him to work with as he got back to the line of scrimmage, the 32-yard line. James Harris tracking him down.
And that's what the Oakland Raiders have to do. They have to run and chase down Doug Flutie because he'll come up with an imaginative play. But Doug Flutie in the pocket will make something happen. It's a play-action pass. He's got time. He can look downfield, fakes the throw, then takes off running and tries to make something happen. And that's how good Doug Flutie's been this year. He can always make something happen with the football. That's why he's starting today.
Flutie now facing a 3rd and 3, a loss of 1 on that play. 15 and 7 as an NFL starter in his career. Thomas in the backfield on 3rd down. Flutie a quick toss, and it's incomplete. He was looking for Moulds. Coverage from Charles Woodson.
And that's a play that they'd like to have back. That's a catch Eric Moulds should have. It's a simple slant pattern. The Raiders show blitz. He's one-on-one against Woodson. He gets off the line of scrimmage, and the ball's right in his hands. That's a catchable ball. But I'll tell you what, Charles Woodson, that's magnificent defensive coverage. Being right there, as soon as the ball hits his hands, he grabs him by the arms and tries to strip the ball. That's a rookie you're watching right there. He could be a Pro Bowler the way he's played this year.
Chris Moore, 41.4 punting average, an off year for Moore. Booting it away for Desmond Howard, who returns from injury. Retreats back to the 19. Howard trying to make something happen. He has a lane. Desmond Howard getting across the 40-yard line, and good field position for Oakland to start with following the 23-yard punt return. A 50-yard punt from Moore. Wade Wilson, 67th NFL start. He will turn 40 on February 1st. Great attitude. He wants to be a coach probably at the end of this season. I don't think he expected to be in this spot week 15 of the NFL. Wilson getting the nod. Hollis ineffective last week and an injured left wrist. On 1st and 10, whistles blow. Harvey Williams getting the start in the backfield and getting the call, but the play never gets off.
Prior to the snap, full start, number 72, offense. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Bill Carollo, our referee here today, and Lincoln Kennedy is tagged with the first Oakland penalty of the day.
And that's big Lincoln Kennedy out there. Big Lincoln Kennedy, the right tackle. And what the Raiders came is they came in with their big package, the big tight end. They didn't have their fullback in there. Now they go with their fullback. They want to run the ball and establish the run early.
Randy Jordan now in the game for Oakland. On 1st and 15. Wilson on the give. Harvey Williams bounced around as he crossed the 40-yard line. Phil Hansen, the first man to get there. And Sam Cowart, the rookie out of Florida State, finished him off. Oakland Raiders offense, Mo Collins getting the call at left tackle, and probably the biggest assignment of his career, going against perennial Pro Bowler, future Hall of Famer Bruce Smith. Harvey Williams making his first start for the injured Napoleon Kaufman, out with the banged up groin. Williams is in the backfield, split with John Ritchie. Tim Brown in motion for Oakland. On 2nd and 11, Wade Wilson to throw. On the dump off, he's got James Jett. Shy of the 50-yard line, shy of the first down. But the short passes, something expect a great deal of today from Wilson, trying to get the ball off early and try to keep him in the pocket so he doesn't have to roam.
James Jett just outside, goes a simple crossing pattern, underneath pattern. Wade Wilson gets in the ball, reaches back for it, but makes the reception. Expect a lot of these type of passes. The wide receivers on the outside going deep, clearing it out for the wide receivers on the inside, and tight ends coming underneath, so Wade Wilson can drop the ball off with easy percentage completions.
Now Oakland facing a 3rd and 3. Buffalo in the dime package, the crowd very energetic. And a timeout call. Oakland calls the timeout. No score with 12:05 left in the first. The playoff race, Raiders and Bills, no score early on in the first quarter. John Gruden's club has dropped 4 of its last 5 games after getting off to a 6-2 start this season. And Wade Wilson now the man in control of this offense. On a 3rd and 3 from the 49. A 3-receiver look. Wilson, quick slant, incomplete. And fortunate that Thomas Smith did not pick it off, but Smith is down on the play. Timing pattern, Tim Brown was in the vicinity. Wilson could not make the connection, and then Smith went down.
Wade Wilson throws this ball into traffic, the Buffalo Bills traffic, but Smith is right there on the spot. Kurt Schultz is coming over to make the play, jumps in front of the ball, going for the ball, and lunges out and gets nailed by Tim Brown.
Thomas Smith now in his 6th year out of North Carolina, first-round pick back in 1993. And one of the great things about this Buffalo starting right cornerback for the Buffalo Bills remains on the field at the 12:01 mark of the first quarter. They will help Smith to his feet. Down, and Oakland forced to punt with Leo Aragus. Kevin Williams waits. Williams, fair catch signal, allows it to bounce into the end zone, and a touchback. 51-yard boot from Aragus. And the Bills will have the football when we return to Orchard Park. Oakland and Buffalo, no score. Oakland and Buffalo with 11:51 to play in the first quarter. And the Bills with their second possession of the day, a 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. In motion, the tight end Lonnie Johnson.
False start.
On the give, Antoine Smith, no gain. Greg Biekert was ready. One more look at the injury to Thomas Smith. Looked like he may have rolled up on his ankle.
On his back right ankle right there at the end of the play. He rolls up on it, and that appears to be where the injury is on Thomas Smith.
Cannot even put pressure on that right foot. Thurman Thomas checks in for Buffalo. Reed in motion. Thomas cutting it upfield. He's got a first down and then some. Flag down on the play. After the 19-yard pickup from Thomas, Jerry Ostrowski laying out a block, the right tackle. But it will work against the Buffalo Bills.
Tripping, number 74, offense, 10-yard penalty, replace it.
And that's young Jamie Nails getting the nod for Reuben Brown.
Well, Jamie Nails has his hands full. He's going against Darrell Russell, who's having a magnificent year this year with 9 sacks and a very active player. And he's getting his first start this season. And Jamie Nails has played well in the preseason, earned his stripes, substituted for Joe Panos, the right guard in preseason because of his injury. And he's played a lot this year because of injury. So the coaching staff of Buffalo, they feel he's ready to go. He's earned his stripes.
One of the many oversized bodies taking part in this game today. We'll get into that as we continue along.
That's not a big body. That's a huge body.
2nd and 20. Jonathan Linton now in the backfield for Buffalo. Flutie to throw. And it's Eric Moulds. Comes up shy of the 30-yard line. Time now for an NFL Today report as we head to New York and Jim Nantz.
All right, Ian, look out for the Rams today. After a Bledsoe interception, Tony Banks to the land of Oz. Az-Zahir Hakim, nifty move, and it's 10-0 already, Rams. Let's go back to Ian and Mark.
And a game the Buffalo Bills are certainly interested in, Jim. And another injury here in Orchard Park. Marquise Walker starting for the injured Eric Allen, as if the Raiders didn't have enough problems.
This team's been banged up the entire year. They're missing 8 starters from opening day. 4 on offense, 4 on defense. Just in the secondary alone, 3 out of the 4 guys are missing. And now with Marquise Walker down, they're very thin in this defensive secondary.
Eric Turner starting free safety, a foot injury. Anthony Newman, ankle and toe injury. Walker being helped to his feet. Sluggish start for both teams here in the first. The latest starting left cornerback for the Oakland Raiders, so Perry Carter will come in to take his place on a 3rd and 2 for Buffalo. Bills will go with a 3-receiver set. Thurman Thomas in the backfield. Raiders have been strong against 3rd down. Flutie, quick throw to the sideline. Andre Reed open for a first down. Picking on Perry Carter, who just checked in for Marquise Walker, and Reed just keeps chugging along in his 14th year. You know, we spoke with John Gruden about Doug Flutie and how he idolized him almost because he was another 5'9" quarterback. But Andre Reed is a guy that he mentioned to us. Hey, I remember running home to watch Andre Reed play. I loved him as a player.
He was a heck of a quarterback. And the other wide receiver, Eric Moulds, says, hey, it's great to have a guy. It's a luxury for me to have a future Hall of Famer on my team that I can learn from. And that's why he's had a great year this year.
222 games played as a member of the Buffalo Bills. Antoine Smith, that big body rumbling along across the 45-yard line. Tackle made by Lance Johnstone on the play.
Good blocking by the offensive line. Just pushing body, staying with your block, but a great job by Antoine Smith of picking away the blockers and finding the hole. And this is what this Buffalo Bills offense wants to do. They've had great success this year of getting their opponents in 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4 situations, and 2nd and short situations so they can move the ball effectively on first down.
6-yard pickup on first down. Smith remains in the backfield. Antoine Smith has some running room. Taking it to the sideline. Into Oakland territory, and Charles Woodson finally able to bring him down to the turf. 19-yard gain for Smith. John Fina with a key block.
And John Fina throws a key block, but on the outside, Eric Moulds, number 80, out there blocking for his running back. Everyone sustains their block. Fina has a turnout block. Antoine Smith just follows that crease and finds the hole, but the blocking outside by Eric Moulds, 10, 15 yards downfield on Charles Woodson, allows this play to go an extra 5 to 8 yards.
Another luxury. You talked about Moulds relying upon Andre Reed. Antoine Smith relies upon the veteran Thurman Thomas. On first down, it's Smith again. Kept the feet moving as he got it inside the 30-yard line. And a pickup of 5.5. Darrell Russell wrapped him up.
And let's not forget that fullback, Sam Gage. Antoine Smith had never had a fullback in front of him until this year. He's not used to having a guy. He had to be more patient. Now you can see the way he picks apart the hole, waits for his fullback, Sam Gash, to lead in that hole and get a block, and then feeds off Sam Gash's block. And Sam Gash is the guy that tells him, hey, this is where you want to go. Just follow me, and I'll lead you to the promised land. Gash
has been a terrific pickup from New England as a free agent. On the gift for Jonathan Linton. Tackle made by Greg Biekert as Linton tried to spin his way for extra yardage. He picked up a couple. It'll be 3rd and short coming up.
And what's impressive about this offense, the offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills, Joe Pendry, he spreads the ball around, gets it to his tight ends, both of them. Not the first one, Lonnie Johnson, but also Jay Ramirez-Mah, the second tight end. Eric Moulds, the wide receiver, Andre Reed, the wide receiver, but also the backs, Gash, Linton, Antoine Smith, Thurman Thomas. Everybody gets a touch on the ball.
Now it's Gash and Linton in the backfield on a 3rd and 3. 8th play of the drive. Johnson was the motion man. Flutie able to make the connection to Andre Reed, and a first down for Buffalo. Bucky Brooks the tackle. 9-yard pass play.
And that's just size and strength and experience over a smaller defender. He reaches out for this ball, pushes off Andre Reed, comes back, snatches the ball down in the air, and stretches out for positive yardage. But the key to this block, the offensive line. They allow Doug Flutie to see the passing lanes by setting and cutting the defensive line so he doesn't have to throw his jump pass. He doesn't have to throw over a bunch of arms and hands in the air. He can find that passing lane and throw the ball on those quick outs.
Set it up at the 18-yard line on a 1st and 10. Thomas in the backfield. Doug Flutie working out of the shotgun. Play clock winding down. Flutie going for it all, gunning for the end zone. Kevin Williams, the intended receiver. Incomplete. Missed it by that much.
And that's what I mean about spreading the ball around. Kevin Williams, the 3rd wide receiver on the outside. He goes down, he runs a simple play. He just goes straight ahead right by Bucky Brooks. It's not a fancy pattern. He's wide open, gets behind the defender, but just can't bring the ball in.
Well, he wouldn't have been in bounds. He held on to that football, Mark, amazingly enough.
But that was close. That should have been a touchdown. Doug Flutie takes a little bit off of that pass at 6 points for the Buffalo Bills.
2nd and 10 from the 18. Thomas in the backfield. Thurman Thomas sprawled down at the 10-yard line. 7.5 yards on the run as Richard Harvey got him down low.
And that's the 1-2 punch of this offense in the running attack. Antoine Smith, big bruiser, pounds him on 1st and 2nd down. Has the fullback in there, Sam Gash. Then you bring in Thurman Thomas on 2nd and long, 3rd and short, 3rd and 3 or 4. Doesn't have the fullback in front of him. They spread the defense out by spreading the offense out, and it gives Thurman Thomas a chance to pick his holes on the outside.
3rd and 3 from the 11. Thomas remains in the backfield, and Williams the motion man. On the pitch for Thomas, trying to get to the outside, and it's not going to happen. Greg Biekert read that play perfectly.
Great job by Biekert reading that play, slashing through to make the tackle in the backfield. And here's a situation they're going for the first down, and that stops the drive. And that's just the offense not being aware of a blitzer running through. And there goes Biekert right past Jamie Nails, and Jamie Nails has to hit him. If you see an opposite colored jersey go by you, you got to block him.
Steve Christie, AFC Special Teams Player of the Week, 4 for 4 last week, including a 52-yarder. This from 32 yards away. It's good. The Buffalo Bills take the early lead. 3-0. 4:58 left in the first. 12-play, 66-yard drive, taking up 6 minutes and 53 seconds on the clock. And Buffalo with a 3-0 advantage here in the first quarter. Steve Christie will kick it off for the Bills. Desmond Howard and Calvin Branch are deep for Oakland. This will be Howard from the 9. Getting past the 30-yard line and brought down at the 31. Coming up Monday on CBS, when Raymond picks out what he thinks is the perfect holiday gift, he's about to prove that it's better to give than to receive. It's an all-new Christmas. Everybody loves 1st and 10 at their own 31. First quarters have been a problem for Oakland as Harvey Williams drives ahead as he's taken down at around the 34-yard line by Bruce Smith. Pickup of 3. The Buffalo defense. Smith not 100%, a knee injury, but he is giving it a go going against the rookie at left tackle Mo Collins. Linebackers, Northern, Coward, Holasek returns after the knee injury, missed 3 games, and Sam Rogers. And in the secondary, that's Donovan Greer now replacing Henry Thomas Smith at right cornerback because of the injury. dump off for John Ritchie. New set of downs for Oakland to work with, as Donovan Greer brought down Ritchie following the pass play of 13 yards.
And the Buffalo Bills are condensing their defensive front to stop the run. They've got all these big guys in the middle, but the Oakland Raiders do a great job of pass protecting. If they've got him in the middle, just push him in the middle and give Wade Wilson time to throw the ball. Drifts out to the right, completes the pass to his fullback, John Ritchie, for the first down. Nice comeback for Wade Wilson.
On 1st and 10 from the 46. Harvey Williams went over 1,000 yards as a member of the Raiders back in 1995. He was basically a tight end a year ago. So Williams, who is a versatile player, getting the nod at running back because of the injury to Napoleon Kaufman. Former member of the Kansas City Chiefs. 1995, the big year for Williams.
And he's one of those guys, every team's got to have a Harvey Williams, a guy that can play 2-3 different positions, be a backup, but can always fill in as a starter.
On 2nd and 8, Randy Jordan now in the backfield. Wilson, good protection as he airs it out deep. Struggle for the football, and it's intercepted by Schultz. James Jett, the intended receiver, and Schultz has his 5th pick of the year.
Well, Wade Wilson was not patient on this drive. He saw something open, went with a play-action fake, saw James Jett on a post pattern down the field, decides to let it fly. But look at the way that Kurt Schultz breaks on the ball and just takes it away from James Jett. That's outstanding defensive play. He did not only go up for that ball, he took it away from the wide receiver, ripped it out of his hands. Buffalo Bill football.
Donald Hollis intercepted 6 times last week for Wade Wilson. His first INT of the season. Schultz, the veteran. Number 5 on the year, giving Buffalo the football. 1st and 10, just shy of the 20-yard line. On the bootleg, Flutie. Little flip to Sam Gash. And a modest gain on 1st down, but a chance for Flutie to exhibit some of his. As this team plays a lot of basketball. He said Flutie is a John Stockton type, but he's willing to post up 6'5" players. Antoine Smith just using sheer power up the middle. A host of.
On the next play.
Willie Shaw has brought a team that was last in the NFL in team defense to the number 2 ranking this year. 3rd and 4. Flutie. Quick throw to Eric Moulds as he's wrestled down by Charles Woodson. And Buffalo has itself a 1st down with time trickling away here in the 1st.
And if Charles Woodson gives Eric Moulds this kind of space on 3rd and short yardage, he will run this slant pattern every time and take that hit across the middle, but he'll pick up the 1st downs. That's another thing about Eric Moulds, the maturity this year. Andre Reed has helped him develop that. When it's 3rd and 5, you go to 6 yards and make sure you get the 1st down. Don't make it short. You go past the yard marker so you assured yourself of the 1st down.
Moulds told us he put too much pressure on himself his first 2 years in the league. Now it's loosey-goosey. Thomas nearly dropped the football on the exchange.
Thurman Thomas from the left side.
Thurman Thomas may have tripped on Jamie Nails.
Wow, that was a collision. I could hear it all the way up here. Jamie Nails and Richard Harvey head-to-head. Big 74 pulls out. This collision right here is a monster collision. Bam! Thurman Thomas just couldn't get over big Jamie Nails' feet, but that was a heck of a collision by 2 big players in the NFL, particularly left guard Jamie Nails.
Well, Nails is running about 6'6", 354, so he says.
350-ish. I like the 350-ish part of it.
That's it. 2nd and 8. Should be the final play of the 1st. Flutie in some trouble for a moment. Now trying to get himself out of it with zeros on the clock. Good play. Andre Reed on the sideline. And the Bills end the 1st quarter on a strong note, a 13-yard pickup and a 1st down. End of 1. Bills 3, Raiders nothing. Back to Orchard Park after this message.
Thomas does not let the defender get off the ground. He drills him again into the turf.
On a 1st and 10 from the 48. Flutie in the pocket. Flutie throwing the deep ball. Off the fingertips of Andre Reed. Coverage from Bucky Brooks.
And Doug Flutie in this offense, they're not going to stand pat. They're going to keep going with that dagger. Andre Reed on the outside, just a little stutter step moving down the sidelines. The ball's thrown, just can't bring it in for the first down. Good pass by Doug Flutie of attacking this defense, inside, outside, stretching the ball downfield and trying to confuse the Oakland defense.
Second and 10 from the 48. Flutie has been effective both in the pocket and out of the pocket. Raiders crowd the line as Jonathan Linton gets the call. And he picks up a yard. Greg Biekert making the stop. Third and long coming up for Buffalo.
It's one thing when they see Jonathan Linton in the backfield that he's going to run the football as a single back. Doesn't have a reception this year. And he's a pretty good young running back for the Buffalo Bills team. They think he could play a little fullback in the future because of his size, but he does have the feet of a tailback.
Fifth round pick, rookie out of North Carolina. So far, it's Buffalo controlling the clock. And a 3-0 lead. 3rd and 9. 3 receivers set. Raiders in the dime package, and Flutie is forced to take a timeout. We step aside with 14:10 to play. First half. Well, it's been a year of learning for John Gruden, getting adjusted to his new role as a head coach in the NFL. 35 years old. Wade Phillips used to see the Raiders twice a year. Back at his 2-year stint as head coach of the Denver Broncos, he is 0-5 as a head coach against the Raiders. 3rd and 9 for Buffalo. Flutie out of the shotgun, stepping up and gunning. Complete. Andre Reed. Coverage provided by Perry Carter. And as we came in talking about Eric Moulds, it reminds you, don't forget about Reed, a future Hall of Famer.
Well, he's got almost as many catches as Eric Moulds, just not the yardage. But here's a guy that can do everything. He's done it for a long time in the NFL. And they're going to put a backup defensive back on Perry Carter. Well, they're going to take their chances and go to Andre Reed as much as possible. That's just smart football by offensive coordinator Joe Pendry. Attack a weakness, and that's a backup to the defensive secondary for Oakland.
Moulds also mentioned to us during the offseason he watched a lot of Jerry Rice and Andre Reed tape, learning how to run precise routes. On the give for Antoine Smith as he hits the 30-yard line and brought down at the 29 by Russell Maryland. Antoine Smith is trying to become the first Buffalo Bill other than Thurman Thomas to top the 1,000-yard mark since 1984. Greg Bell did it that year, and then Thomas ripped off 8 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons from '89 to 1996.
Talking to Antoine Smith yesterday, he was telling us 1,000 yards is important, but my goal is 1,400, 1,500 yards, and that's the top echelon of NFL running back.
And that's the right frame of mind to have. Smith inching closer to that 1,000-yard mark. Came in 77 yards shy. He now has 46 on the day. Greg Biekert with the tackle. It'll be 3rd and 3 for Buffalo.
And the other thing, talking to Antoine Smith yesterday, he was about the happiest guy to see Jamie Nails in there blocking for him. He goes, if they got big Darrell Russell over there, I want a big guy in Darrell Russell. So Jamie Nails is 350-ish, so I want him in there blocking for me.
Russell checking in at 320. 11th play of the drive, a 3rd and 3 from the Oakland 25. Kevin Williams in motion. Flutie. Andre Reed over the middle. Brought down inside the 10-yard line. A 13-yard hookup.
And I think the problem with this Oakland defense is they're concerned so much about Eric Moulds, they're forgetting about Andre Reed, and that's a major mistake. You've got to go on both of these wide receivers and not let them open. And Thurman Thomas gets another great block out of the backfield right there on Lance Johnson. Look at the lane that Doug Flutie has to throw in, and you can't put a linebacker. That was Richard Harvey covering Andre Reed. It's not going to happen. The offense will win that battle every time.
5 catches, 70 yards for Reed. Bills in the red zone. 1st and goal from the 8. Antoine Smith trying to bounce off a tackler, and he can't do it. Terry Wooden sniffed it out, and a loss on the play.
Nice play by Wooden, but the interior line of the Oakland Raiders got a good stuff and moved the line of scrimmage against the Buffalo Bills, and they rushed the line of scrimmage to push on the inside, not allowing the Bills to get off. They're just tackling big Jamie Nails, 2 or 3 defenders, and then Wooden comes from the outside and makes the tackle of Antoine Smith in the backfield. As a player, and I used to hate that. If you pulled and got in traffic, a defender would grab you and tackle you, and you get so frustrated because you didn't have the ball. Those guys aren't supposed to do that, but it's smart defensive play.
Thurman Thomas setting up as a receiver. Buffalo going with the 5-receiver look. On 2nd and goal from the 13. Flutie on the pump. Flutie backing up in the pocket. Doug Flutie. Oh my goodness, how much time can he have? Incomplete.
A defensive lineman's nightmare. You've got to run for 15 seconds to get to the quarterback, and that's a plus for the offense. And Doug Flutie, the way that he can maneuver around.
Could it also be an offensive lineman's nightmare? You just want the play to end.
Well, on a play like this, I'm hoping that defender slips on the ground so I can just fall on him, because it's 10, 12 seconds. You got to block out there and move your feet. But Doug Flutie, magnificent, moving around, shuffling around, looking for the open wide receiver. I mean, this guy looks like he's in a boxing square, that he's moving his feet and jerking around, but then he just has to throw a ball away. But the offensive line did a tremendous job. But the Raider defensive secondary, they stayed with their wide receivers. That's a long time to stay with a wide receiver.
3-receiver look on the 14th play of the drive. 3rd and goal. Flutie guns. Touchdown! Jay Remersma. They love to get him involved in the red zone. And Remersma with his 6th touchdown of the season.
Well, they like to spread this ball out offensively. I've said it earlier. Joe Pendry, the offensive coordinator, does a magnificent job of doing that. But getting it to your tight end, that's where you want to get him in the red area, because it's a big body as a receiver. All he does is run a post pattern. Flutie steps up in the pocket and fires. He beats the defender to the backside. Touchdown, Buffalo Bills.
Christie adds the extra point. And the Bills extend their lead in the second. 10-0 finds tight end Jay Remersma.
And right here, Richard Harvey has him, but watch Remersma go to the back of the end zone. They're playing too deep, but man, Harvey's got him. He just runs right by him, goes to the post, and Flutie puts the ball right on the money. And that's great cooperation between the quarterback, Flutie, going to his tight end, Jay Remersma.
On the kickoff, Calvin Branch will take it out. And Branch down at the 25-yard line. Joe Cummings, the tackle on special teams. 10-0 Buffalo in front.
For top. First Union, your guide to the financial world. And by RCA, changing entertainment again.
Well, maybe the king really does live. Wow.
I thought it was our producer and director, Suzanne Smith and Victor Frank, out there.
You know, there is a similarity. 10-0. Buffalo has the lead. Oakland has the football. On the handoff going up the middle, Harvey Williams, who took himself out of the game on the Raiders' last possession, has a wrap now on his wrist. This week's player spotlight on NFL.com profiles Raiders defensive tackle Darrell Russell. Plus, get updated stats through Week 15 at www.nfl.com. Williams remains on the game after the 1-yard pickup. Tim Brown in motion. Wilson straight back. The toss over the head of Harvey Williams. And again, this Oakland offense not showing much in the early going.
Well, he was feeling the heat from the outside from Bruce Smith. He got a pretty good rush over Mo Collins, but the first play they attacked the middle of the defense, and they attacked Ted Washington. That's a first mistake. You're not going to move him out of the middle. And then on the outside, you want to go a little quick pass, and Bruce Smith, 14th year in the NFL, he can still get off the ball. Still one of the best pass rushers, second of ever all-time NFL sacking the quarterback. He will get over a rookie, and he's licking his chops today because he's got a rookie across from him.
Second only to Reggie White. On 3rd and 9, 3 receivers set. Wilson has time. Wilson looking to run. The 39-year-old gets across the 30-yard line, but short of a first down. Marcellus Wiley, second year out of Columbia, able to get him by the jersey and drag him down. And Oakland forced to punt.
Bruce Smith comes on an inside move right here, tries to get to the quarterback, fights to be between 2, 3, and 4 people, and Wade Wilson feels the pressure, steps up. He can't complete the ball downfield because of the great coverage of the Buffalo secondary, and takes off and runs with it.
Leo Araguz will punt. Kevin Williams averaging 8 yards a return. His longest of the season, 24 yards. He can return this one from the 25. Kevin Williams, he might break it. Williams in a foot race. Kevin Williams remaining on his feet. What an effort! Leo Aragus able to bring him down, at least slow him down. So the Bills did not get the touchdown, but they came mighty close. A 73-yard return.
And that Kevin Williams, he says you have to have an attitude to return the ball. Kicks or punts, it doesn't matter. Every time I touch the ball, I don't think about getting positive yardage. I think about getting to the end zone. Here, he avoids tacklers right here and just outruns the rest of the coverage team for the Oakland Raiders. Gets some blocks down the way, but now he's just off to the races, and it's him against the punter, Leo Aragus.
And he nearly got in. Brought down finally at the 2-yard line. Setting up a 1st and goal from the 2 for Buffalo. Smith and Gash in the backfield. Riemersma in motion. Flutie on the handoff for Smith. Bounced off one tackler, but was twirled around at the line of scrimmage. Grady Jackson spun him around like a top. Call it no gain on 1st down.
And this is one area, even with a fullback in front of you, when you get in towards the red area, right here at goal line and short yardage, you can't tippy-toe. Sam Gash gets a good block, but you have to force that ball in there. If you have to change direction on the goal line or short yardage, you're not going to get positive yardage because it gets a defensive chance to attack the line of scrimmage. 2nd and goal from the 2. Motion man Riemersma. Play action. Flutie floats one. Touchdown! Lonnie Johnson. First touchdown of the season for the big tight end. Spreading the wealth around offensively, that's what Doug Flutie does best, keeping everyone happy, getting everyone a touch, all those wide receivers. First he goes to his first tight end, Jay Riemersma for the touchdown. Then he comes back, Lonnie Johnson, and here, great play action protection, gets a good block out of the backfield by his running back Thurman Thomas, but at the back of the end zone, it's Lonnie Johnson wide open and just goes up for the touchdown. Extra point from Christie. And now the Bills opening it up. 8:15 to play, 1st half. To Lonnie Johnson. And the Buffalo Bills with a 17-0 lead. That followed the 73-yard punt return from Kevin Williams. Longest punt return not for a touchdown in team history. Steve Christie for Desmond Howard from the 2. Raiders need to make something happen. Howard with a good return off of the kickoff as Donovan Greer chased him to the sideline. Monday on CBS, be able to play in this game. Some of the big bodies around. He's got the girth, there's no doubt about that. I'm just concerned about the height. 2 touchdowns for the Bills. 1 to each of their tight ends. Catch made by James Jett on 1st down. The Oakland Raiders with 7:52 left in the 2nd quarter, trailing 17-0. This is a team that has lost 3 in a row. Off to a 7-3 start this season. They were thinking playoffs. They were talking playoffs in the Bay Area. Now they are talking about this season being reminiscent to 1995 when they started 8-2 and lost their last 6 in a row. On 2nd and 4. Harvey Williams stumbling ahead as Henry Jones made the stop. Decembers have been a problem for the Oakland Raiders. Since 1995, when they moved back to the Bay Area, you see what they have done late in the season. 1-4 last year to wrap up the year. 1-8 after the 3-4 start. Bruce Smith. Not 100% here today. Smith just trying to give it a go. He's been walking with a limp. And a 1st down for Oakland as Harvey Williams squeezed his way through a hole. Only the 2nd Oakland 1st down of the day as Smith got him low to slow him down, but it will continue the drive for the Raiders. Well, the Oakland Raiders in their offense, they want to just sustain a drive and hopefully get 1st downs and get some points on the board and build confidence of their offense at this point. Down 17 points early in the half. This is a team that needs to sustain a drive and build their confidence up. Wade Wilson, short passes, hand the ball off. They don't want to get it back all at once, but they at least want to get field position as a victory with their drives.
Just shy of midfield on a 1st and 10. Wilson throwing. And the catch brought in Tim Brown. Brown now has gone 90 straight games with at least one reception. And a new set of downs for the Oakland Raiders to work with after the 12-yard pickup.
And what's so different about this Raider offense with John Gruden is he's installed the West Coast offense. In the past, the Raiders were pound the ball in there, then throw it deep with the speedy wide receivers, throw the ball vertically, the vertical passing game. But now with John Gruden, he likes to dink and dunk it off, throw the short outs, throw the crossing patterns underneath, and get first downs.
Randy Jordan came in motion. Harvey Williams gets the call as he puts the helmet down and moves ahead to the 35-yard line. Sam Rogers making the tackle for Buffalo.
And Bruce Smith, he's moving around quite a bit from outside over the rookie Mo Collins to inside over Steve Wisniewski. A couple of Pro Bowlers right there, perennial Pro Bowlers going at it. And right here, Wisniewski, boom, he gets a flapjack out there. That's a pancake. That's not only a plus, that's a double plus in the offensive line meetings on Monday.
The second down play to Harvey Williams. John Holisek, one of the inside linebackers, returning from a knee injury, coming in to make the play. It'll be third down for the Oakland Raiders and 6. Clock is moving, 4:33 and counting. Buffalo with a 17-0 lead. Doug Flutie undefeated at home as a starter in the NFL. He's trying to keep that streak alive for the Buffalo Bills. Raiders have a 4-receiver set on 3rd and 6. Jet in motion and movement. Flags come down.
And that's what Bruce Smith does best, particularly at home. He plays to the crowd. If he can get that offensive lineman to start to think about it, he wants to get him moving.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 79, offense, 5-yard penalty. Replay, third down.
And that's the rookie Mo Collins. If you get him thinking about this guy right here, here's Mo Collins. He's got to move early because Bruce Smith's got him. He's in his mind already right there to move because he's so explosive off the ball. If Mo Collins just sits there, it's going to be on Bruce Smith. But as soon as he sees him move, instead of watching the ball and listening to the snap count, he gets called for the penalty.
Third penalty today called on the Oakland Raiders. And they back it up. Now pushing Oakland into a 3rd and 11. Not a sellout here today at Bill Stadium, but mighty close. And a timeout has been called by the Bills. We'll return to Orchard Park after this.
Dell, and by Citizen. Citizen is how the world tells time.
Back in Buffalo, it's been Flutie mania here in upstate New York ever since Doug Flutie took over the job. He was backing up Rob Johnson, and the Bills still consider Rob Johnson the quarterback of the future, but for now, you go with the hot hand, and Flutie certainly has had that. He has helped lead the Bills to a 17-0 lead. Oakland trying to maintain this drive. 3rd and 11 with just under 4 minutes to play in the first half. Wilson, deep drop. He's got time on the dump off for Terry Mickens. And he came up just shy of the marker. Mickens angling off to the sideline.
Wade Wilson got great protection on that play by not only his offensive line, but to the outside. They kept running back Harvey Williams in the pass protect. And on the outside, you're going to see it over here to the right of the screen. Mo Collins has his hands on Bruce Smith. Harvey Williams right there to cut him. Mo Collins to clean up on him at the end. But that allows quarterback Wade Wilson time to find a receiver downfield to complete it for the first down.
Clock stops, 3:52. It's going to be very, very close.
First down for the Raiders.
And they are giving Oakland the first down.
You doubt my precision perfect eyes?
Oh.
After all this time?
After all this time, yes. I doubt your precision eyes.
I can't see. But here's Bruce Smith against the rookie. He goes on an outside rush. He's got Mo Collins beat, but cleaning up right there is Harvey Williams. Then Mo Collins finishes him off right at the end of the play.
The drive remains alive. On the give, Harvey Williams spilled out. Ken Irvin cutting him down low, and Williams again going to the sideline and taking himself out of the game. Randy Jordan will come in and take his spot on the field. It'll be 2nd and 9 coming up for Oakland. Desmond Howard now out there as a wide receiver. Howard with only 2 catches this season. Buffalo in the dime package, 6 defensive backs on 2nd and 9. Wilson, decent protection. Low throw, Brown able to haul it in.
Complete to Tim Brown.
Across the 25-yard line, Phil Hansen was applying pressure in the backfield.
Wade Wilson got time, but at the end of the play, he got nailed by Phil Hansen. This ball's underthrown, and he was under duress to try to throw that ball downfield. But you're going to see the push inside by Hansen and Bruce Smith. They run a nice little stunt here. Hansen gets on the soft shoulder of Mo Collins and falls right on the legs of quarterback Wade Wilson.
A 4-yard gain, 3rd and 5 coming up for Oakland. And the Raiders use one of their 2 remaining timeouts. Each club with 1 timeout left. Here late in the 2nd quarter. 2:31 to play. First half, it's 17-0. Bills. Alan, Brent Jones, and Michael Lombardi. Scores and highlights, plus a preview of the President's Cup. That's all coming up on the NASDAQ Amex halftime report. On 3rd down, Wilson throwing. Caught. Once again, Terry Mickens. Good hands, and it looked like the initial spot will be enough for Oakland. They had to get to the 18-yard line for the first down.
And Wade Wilson 5 for 5 on this drive. It's an easy slant play, and you've got the wide receiver Mickens on the outside. He's one-on-one against Schultz, and it's a nice move to get the first down. Quick bang-bang plays, very difficult to defend to pick up yardage like that.
This time, though, we will see the markers as they extend. Not enough. Coming up a little more than the length of the football shy of the first down, and now decision time for Oakland.
They've got to go for the first down, and you're in a situation you're fighting for the playoffs. You're down by 17 in a hostile environment. 3 points, yeah, it's good to get on the scoreboard, but hey, they want touchdowns here. They're going to go for it.
Raiders are 5 of 11 on 4th down conversions this season. A critical play late in the 2nd quarter. 4th and about a foot. On the handoff, is it enough for Randy Jordan? Sam Cowart, the rookie, coming over.
Sam Cowart, Phil Hansen.
And it's going to be very close depending on where the official spotted. But Cowart, the rookie, what a magnificent year he's having. He comes up with big plays time and time again.
Harvey Williams got the call on that play. Bill Carollo extending the arm. It all depends on the spot. It was Cowart on the stop. Williams tried to extend his arms to give Oakland the first down as we have hit the 2-minute warning. Extending the chains. Oh. Enough. Barely.
By that much. It's a good job of the offensive line getting leverage on the Buffalo defensive line, and Harvey Williams getting the first down.
2-minute warning. Oakland now just trying to get on the board. Oakland, though, threatening at the 2-minute warning of the 2nd quarter. Raiders a long drive, and they needed it. And again, giving up the big play. Last week, points off of turnovers in the loss to Miami. Here again, points off of turnovers and a long punt return from Kevin Williams. Jordan in the backfield. On 1st and 10, Wilson going deep. Caught by Dudley. Touchdown. Wade Wilson getting the pass off just in the nick of time. And Ricky Dudley with an athletic play. The tight end has his 5th touchdown of the '98 season.
And a terrific job by Wade Wilson. Right there, gets nailed in the back by Bruce Smith. An outstanding rush by Smith, but not enough. He gets the ball off to his tight end, Ricky Dudley, for the touchdown.
It's funny how inches can determine what you see on the scoreboard. If just an inch the other way, Buffalo would have gotten the football back after the Harvey Williams carry, and they would still have the 17-0 lead. Instead, Oakland back in this football game. Raiders get on the board as Greg Davis tacks on the extra point.
Bills 17, Raiders 7.
Ricky Dudley with a touchdown reception. Good throw from Wade Wilson, and it's 17-7. Buffalo with 1:54 to play in the second. Coming up, the NASDAQ Amex halftime report. Jim Nantz, Marcus Allen, Brent Jones, and Michael Lombardi back in our studios in New York. Scores and highlights and a preview of the President's Cup. That's all coming up on the NASDAQ Amex halftime report.
Now, you said it's a game of inches. Within a hiccup, if Bruce Smith gets there, it's a sack. And the 39-year-old Wade Wilson takes a lick right there. Bam. He got his nose hairs knocked out. But Ricky Dudley fighting for the football and getting the touchdown. And that's what you need in situations like this. You're fighting for the playoffs. You need your guys to rally and fight and hang in there. That's one thing John Gruden said about this team last week. Even though they were down 24-3 at one point, they never gave up. They fought and came back.
Dudley got shut out last week in the loss to Miami. Gets the 18-yard touchdown reception here. Wade Wilson on that drive, 6 of 6 throwing the football, 54 yards. And Wilson with his 3rd touchdown of the season. Kevin Williams, the lone man deep. Williams from the 8 has that long punt return already. And Williams got tripped up, or that may have been another long return for Kevin Williams. Mike Morton getting him down low. 29 yards for Williams. Next Saturday, CBS Sports kicks off the weekend with an NFL national game. Vinny Testaverde and the New York Jets meet Doug Flutie and the Buffalo Bills right here in Orchard Park. It all begins at 12 Eastern with the NFL Today on CBS. Buffalo Bills still thinking about a division title, entering action today at 8-5, and still thinking about putting some points on the board before halftime. Eric Moulds the catch. Moulds into Oakland territory. Another 5-receiver look for the Buffalo Bills, something Flutie was certainly accustomed to when he played in the CFL.
Well, he's used to that set, and he's the one that really implemented it here. Talked to head offensive coordinator Joe Pendry about installing it, but they couldn't do it from day one. They had to eke it into their offensive game plan, and now they feel comfortable with it. But that last play, Eric Moulds, 3 white jerseys around him, 3 Oakland Raider defenders around him, and still comes up with a reception for the first down.
His first year as a starter, he is certainly making the most of it. 3 catches, 44 yards for Moulds. Over 1,100 yards in receiving this season, leading the AFC. On 1st and 10. Quick little out, and it's Moulds again. Clock moves with 1:35 left. Bucky Brooks bringing Moulds down. A 4-yard pickup, 2nd and 6 coming up from the 42. Bills quickly come to the line of scrimmage. 3 receivers set. Thomas in the backfield. Flutie fires quickly to Moulds. Charles Woodson brings him down. Clock is rolling.
And I think Oakland's making a mistake, and I said it earlier, playing off the line of scrimmage against Eric Moulds. They've got to get someone pressed on the line of scrimmage and not let him release cleanly off the line of scrimmage, else he will burn you the rest of the afternoon.
Another first down for Buffalo. 1 timeout left for each team. Line of scrimmage is the 34. Out of the gun, Flutie, plenty of time. Floats it towards the end zone. Incomplete. Jay Remersma on the post pattern. Albert Lewis combining with Louis Riddick on the coverage.
Before throwing it to Remersma, he looked towards Eric Moulds, not once, not twice, but 3 times before throwing that ball to the post pattern to Remersma down the middle of the field.
And it does stop the clock with 41 seconds to play. Buffalo with a 17-7 advantage. 2nd and 10 from the 34. Flutie so far, 144 yards. He's gone over 300 yards in back-to-back games, trying to make it 3 in a row. Play clock winding down. Flutie, little flick. Thurman Thomas. And Lance Johnstone was in his face. Loss on the play. Timeout has been taken by Buffalo, their final timeout with 31 seconds left in the first half.
And Lance Johnstone was not fooled on that play. It was set up very well by Doug Flutie. Thurman Thomas in the backfield gets a little chip on the outside rusher, but Lance Johnstone was over Jerry Ostrowski, the right tackle, and just baited and waited on the line of scrimmage and ran the play down. Smart play on defense, gets good protection up front, looks it off. Thurman Thomas a little touch on the outside. Doug Flutie gets a face mask at the end of the play, which they didn't call, but Lance Johnstone was Johnny on the spot, smart enough to read the play and make the tackle.
That was Bucky Brooks on the corner blitz, who got the face mask of Flutie. No flag. And 3rd and 15 coming up. Flutie truly is an amazing story. It's obviously been covered all throughout the season. It's been a dream year.
But the thing that I was most happy about is when I got to the hotel, they gave me a box of Flutie Flakes.
Yeah, me too.
It was great, yeah.
You didn't open your box, did you?
No, take it home.
Yeah. A big 3rd down play. 5 receiver look on 3rd and 15. Flutie in the pocket. Flutie looking to run. Flutie angling towards the sideline, and he's forced out of bounds at the 31 by Calvin Branch. Doug Flutie did not get the 1st down for Buffalo. And with 21 seconds left, the Bills facing a 4th down.
Empty backfield, not a soul in this backfield back there, and the Oakland Raiders know that. That's why they're dropping deep. It's a deep zone, and Doug Flutie has no one to throw the ball to. Great job of pass protection by the offensive line. Only 3 rushers, 8 defenders dropping deep, but Doug Flutie with his speed takes the ball down the field.
This will be a 49-yard attempt for the very steady Steve Christie. Christie's kick is good. Christie drills it from 49 yards away. And the Bills have something to show for this late 2nd quarter drive. The Oakland Raiders defense, one of the best in the NFL, but Wade Phillips' offense able to get the job done. 20-7, Buffalo now in front with 16 seconds left. Right now, let's take a look at the CBS Sportsline question of the week. Very interesting question. Who would you pick as the surprise quarterback of the season? Some great choices. Randall Cunningham, Doug Flutie, or Vinny Testaverde. All 3 have just been nothing short of brilliant for their respective teams. Log on to vote at cbs.sportsline.com and on America Online at keyword CBS Sportsline.
And the thing that's interesting about those 3 choices, none of those guys are spring chickens. A lot of those guys have been around the block 4 or 5 times, played with a couple NFL teams, and now they're really thriving in the NFL at the end of their careers.
I'd like to talk to you about that maybe in the second half, about the 35-year-old and over, the quarterbacks in particular who are having success this season. Not the analysts.
I thought you were going to say offensive lineman. I was going to make a comeback.
No. Onside kick from Christie. Little squibber. And the Raiders able to fall on it at the 30-yard line. Vince Amy trampling on the football with just 14 seconds left in the 2nd quarter. What about Wade Wilson's performance so far?
I think he's been terrific. I think 8 out of 11. He's got the 1 interception, but that was one of those balls. It was a jump ball, and Kurt Schultz made a great play on it, taken away from the wide receiver. But thus far, I mean, you know, he does have fresh legs. He said he had fresh legs coming in, and, you know, he's gotten the rust off, and he looks pretty good.
Just 14 ticks on the clock remaining. Oakland, though, trailing 20-7 in about as close to a must-win situation as you can get. Wilson in some trouble, and he's down. Sean Price falling on Wade Wilson for the sack.
See, that's not fair to Wade Wilson. You go with a short drop, and they know you're going to throw the ball, and he just doesn't get a chance to get set. It's a short 3-step drop. His first receiver's not open, goes to a second one, and the defensive linemen only have to go 3 steps for the sack.
And that will be the final play of the first half. Place a couple of weeks ago with the New England Patriots, and the Bills might be in the driver's seat right now for the AFC East title with 10 or 11 wins. Desmond Howard will return from inside the 5. Howard able to get to the outside to get some extra yardage. And the Bills will have it 1st and 10 from the 27. Jonathan Litton with the tackle on special teams. Halftime stats, time of possession, nearly 18 minutes in favor of the Buffalo Bills. You see the passing yards from Doug Flutie, and you see the 3rd down conversions as well. Just the one turnover for Oakland. It was an interception. Wade Wilson threw it, but the Bills scored off of that turnover. Wilson with a 1st and 10. They spot the football at the 26. Tim Brown in motion. Wilson will throw on 1st down, or will he? He does get it off, and it is Tim Brown shy of the 30-yard line. Ted Washington was applying a lot of pressure in the backfield. We talked to John Gruden about Ted Washington. He said, yeah, he's the perfect nose tackle because he lines up with both guards, the left guard and the right guard, because of that big body.
Now, when Wade Wilson sees Ted Washington come after him, it's almost a panic. Let's get rid of the ball because you don't want big Ted laying on top of me, but he slams him to the turf. Wade Wilson's been great at getting the ball off before the rush has gotten to him today.
On 2nd and 7, Wilson pumping and throwing. In stride, James Jett. And he's twirled out of bounds by Gabe Northern. Just a bit shy of the marker. Injury update on Thomas Smith. Sprained knee. He will not return. Smith went down in the 1st quarter, the starting right cornerback for the Buffalo Bills.
What the Oakland Raiders have to do is be methodical with their offense now. Go to that West Coast offense, drop the ball 4-yard gains, 5-yard gains, get the defense off balance, throw in a couple of runs, and then every once in a great while, go for the throat downfield vertically.
On 3rd and 1, Harvey Williams in the backfield. Williams getting the call and running into a brick wall. The line of scrimmage was the 36. They had to cross the 36 for the 1st down. And the spot, of course, will be important as Ted Washington got his big body right into the fray.
And I'll tell you what, 3rd and short yardage situations, if you're going to run the ball, I'm not running against that guy right there. He's one of the best at stuffing 1, 2, 3 blockers in the hole at the line of scrimmage, and you're just not going to move him. Run around him, run away from him.
You're a man that can speak from experience on this. Is that man 325 pounds?
He may be a biscuit or a Diet Coke away from 400.
Oh, no.
He's big. That's a huge individual. At my heyday, I was about 305 in my heyday, and I looked not even close to that big specimen. But he can play with it. That's the key. He's a great nose guard, probably the best in the NFL.
Mark, I've seen some photos. You look mighty close to that specimen. Meanwhile, Oakland did not get the 1st down. They came up just inches shy. So the 3rd punt of the day for Leo Aragus. Kevin Williams almost broke one earlier. Aragus averaging 43.5 yards per punt. Long punt for Aragus. Sends Williams back to the 11. Kevin Williams looking to make something happen. Cutting it inside. Trying to get to the outside. And he's brought down to the 26 by Terry Mickens. 53-yard punt, 15-yard return. Buffalo has the ball in the lead. In Orchard Park, and the Buffalo Bills with a 20-7 lead on the Oakland Raiders. Buffalo has the football, 1st and 10 from their own 27-yard line. Reed, the motion man. Flutie on the give. Antoine Smith trying to power ahead. You might have to mention his name. The expectation level here in Buffalo was more along 7, maybe 8 wins. Thurman Thomas in the backfield. Flutie throwing. Wide open Remersma. And a big play into Oakland territory. This Raiders defense comes in with a big as a quarterback. Flutie throwing. Sideline route. Andre Reed couldn't bring it in, but a flag on the play. Bucky Brooks. Maybe part of the problem, Brooks never looked back for the football. 1st and 10 from the 17. Williams in motion. On the give, Thurman Thomas. 11th year in the NFL. And every now and again, he can show you what he was like back in the early 90s. Kevin Williams laying out a block for him.
And he gets good blocking up front. Jamie nails the offensive lineman. He trips going through the hole, but he sustains his balance and keeps heading downfield. And, hey, Thurman Thomas is a guy that's going to go to the Hall of Fame with what he's done in his career, Ryan. And here's a guy that when they replaced him, it could have been one of those things, well, I want to be the starter. It's like, no, I want to help us win. What can I do to help this team win? And that's a tremendous attitude to have.
Showing professionalism as well. 2nd and 1. Play clock winding down. Inside handoff, Sam Gash. First down yardage for Gash as he sprawled out across the 5.
I think Sam Gash was so excited they gave him the ball to carry. He ran over the quarterback, Doug Flutie, on the handoff. I mean, he's close to the line of scrimmage. He doesn't get that many touches, but he was that close to the line. He just said, forget it. I'm not only taking the ball, I'll take the quarterback. Give me the ball to give me a carry. And he's been a great guy to have, instrumental in this program and in his ability to block. Not only that, but on the off the field, the locker room guy. When you talk about locker room guys, everyone points to Sam Gash and what he's brought to the Buffalo Bills.
Just his 9th carry of the season. 1st and goal, just inside the 5. Smith, he's got an opening. Touchdown! Antoine Smith brings it in.
Backside blocks. That play was meant to go to the middle of the field to the left. He cut it all the way back to the right, broke a couple tackles. He was in for the score.
And the Buffalo Bills are just cruising. 5 straight scores for the Buffalo Bills on 5 consecutive possessions. Desmond Howard off of the bounce. Stringing it to the outside. Howard tried to cut it back. And they'll spot the football at the 27. Manny Martin with the tackle. Antoine Smith with a touchdown run.
Joe Panos, Jerry Ostrowski, they run a slip block here between the down man. Watch Antoine Smith. He's going to take it here and cut it back. His blocking by Sam Gash. The defense will flow. I know that's a lot in there, but keep an eye on the backside, Jerry Ostrowski. It's a seal block on the slip. He keeps his hands on the defender. He trips Russell Maryland with his feet. Antoine Smith, with a great vision looking downfield, decides to cut it back for the touchdown.
12 carries, 49 yards, and the score for Smith. 1st and 10 for Oakland from the 27. And Wade Wilson unable to make the connection to Harvey Williams. Incomplete. Now you start thinking about the Oakland Raiders, and maybe this is their season. The Raiders on the brink of playoff elimination. Haven't been to the postseason since 1993. Can be mathematically eliminated from the playoffs with a loss here today and a New England win and a Miami win. Second and 10. Of course, the Dolphins and the Jets going tonight. Jets will come here to Orchard Park next week. Wilson throwing to Dudley. He lost the football. Ricky Dudley coughing it up. And Phil Hansen recovering the fumble.
But Phil Hansen comes up with the ball, but what a stick by Ken Irvin on the outside. Ricky Dudley just goes out to the flat, drifts out, catches the ball. The stick right there on the football by Ken Irvin jars the ball loose, and Phil Hansen, just with his hustle, recovers the fumble.
Ken Irvin with the hit, jarring the ball. Second fumble recovery of the season for Hansen. And for Irvin, his second forced fumble. Second turnover for Oakland. And now the Bills can add to their already strong lead of 27-7. Gash in the backfield in motion. Smith. Antoine Smith spun down at the 11-yard line. 8-yard gain on first down. Dusty Ziegler. Joe Panos, along with Jamie Nails, providing that hole for Smith.
Second down, 3.
The Buffalo Bills are now +8 on the season in turnover ratio. Take a look at what they were in 1997. -20. What a turnaround it's been, and it's showing in their one-loss record. Smith trying to move forward for the first down. Darrell Russell able to wrap him up. Had to get across the 10-yard line to move the chains. See where they spot the football.
And that's a nice push by the offensive line, but even harder running by the tailback Antoine Smith, following his blockers, leaning forward and following the guys up front, finding a hole, but not going down by the first tackler, breaking through the first tackler and making 2-3 guys bring him down.
He is now 19 yards shy of the 1,000-yard mark. This is a 3rd and 1. Just under 9 minutes to play in the third. Buffalo with a 20-point lead. Smith is met. Terry Wooden, the first man to get there, came firing in, and the Oakland defense holds. The field goal unit will come on to try to put 3 points on the board.
The blitz inside by Richard Harvey stuffed Sam Gash in the backfield, and tailback Antoine Smith had to cut the ball to the right where he wanted to take it to the left, and that allowed Terry Wooden to make the tackle for the loss. You've got to look at the offensive line in the scheme of things. When you get penetration on a running play and the back has to cut it back in short yardage, there's virtually no chance of picking up big yardage.
Steve Christie connects on his 3rd field goal of the day, a 32-yarder. Off the turnover, Buffalo tacks on 3. Raiders are running out of time. 8:09 left in the 3rd quarter, and they trail 30-7. Al Davis synonymous with the name Raiders, whether it's Oakland or Los Angeles. December has been a problem. The principal owner, president of the general partner, Desmond Howard on the return. And Howard is tackled at the 25-yard line by Marlo Perry. Coming up Monday on CBS, Ted Danson stars as a doctor who is not afraid to tell it like it is. Critics are calling it the best new comedy of the year. Catch an all-new Becker Monday on CBS. (30-7), Buffalo in front. Wade Wilson getting his first start of the season, less than 2 months shy of his 40th birthday. On a handoff for Harvey Williams. Raiders really just did not have much of a choice. Jeff George out with that groin injury. Donald Hollis ineffective a week ago, and the injured wrist. And the wild card update. Tampa Bay leading Pittsburgh 13-3. Tennessee and Jacksonville are tied at 10. Both of those scores are in the 3rd. The Bills get into the playoffs with a win over Oakland, plus a Tennessee loss to Jacksonville and a Tampa Bay win over Pittsburgh. Everything just about working for the Bills so far today. Wilson throwing it. He lost the football. Phil Hansen scooping it up into the end zone. Touchdown, Buffalo. And what is becoming more and more clear, this is not just Doug Flutie. This is a good football team.
Well, not only that, the defense has always been known in Buffalo, and they're led by Bruce Smith on defense. He makes this whole play go, but Phil Hansen today, Johnny on the spot, comes up with a fumble recovery last series. Here he comes up with one and runs it in for a touchdown, but Bruce Smith coming off the edge, putting pressure on the backside of Wade Wilson. He never had a chance to see him strip some of the ball. That's the play.
Extra point from Christie. Buffalo gets a touchdown off of a fumble recovery for the first time in 35 games. This is a blowout.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light. And by IBM. Are you ready for e-business?
They love their football here in Buffalo, and when the Bills are successful, this town rallies around them. They've been successful today, 37-7. Desmond Howard down at the 30-yard line. 39-year-old Wade Wilson taking a beating here today.
He needs help with the guys up front, and Bruce Smith comes out with an outside rush to the outside here to get the quarterback Wade Wilson. Nice move, a nice little stunt. Ricky Dudley has to pick him up the tight end. There's no chance with the explosiveness of Bruce Smith, but Phil Hansen picks the ball up and staggers into the end zone, but gets in there for the touchdown. Major play for the Buffalo Bills, but it all starts with Bruce Smith on the stunt from the outside, getting the quarterback Wade Wilson, even on a sore knee, had an injured knee from last week's game.
Registering his 9th sack of the season as Harvey Williams tippy-toes his way through the inside and ahead to the 34-yard line. John Holisek making the stop, the inside linebacker.
And Bruce Smith, over the course of time, he gets better and better. He's like a fine wine. And sometimes when he's got problems rushing against a guy that's given him problems in the past, or he hasn't gotten a sack on, he'll pick up the phone and call Deacon Jones and say, hey, what can I do? What can I bring out from the past? And he'll say, be patient, go with the move, set him up like a baseball player, throw a little fastball, go upfield, and come underneath with a curved ball, and get the guy thinking and confusion in his mind.
Wilson is down again. Sam Rogers. Third sack of the day for the Buffalo defense.
And now comes the onslaught. Defensive coordinator Ted Cottrell, they know they have to throw, so they're going to blitz. Delay blitzes, try to disguise things. They don't blitz a lot, but they blitz with Sam Rogers on this play, and he just fights off the protection and gets in for the sack on Wade Wilson.
Rogers with 4.5 sacks this season. Second round pick back in 1994. And a 3rd and 12. Wilson guns it, long throw, incomplete. Jet the intended receiver. Donovan Greer down the sideline, stride for stride. First-year pro out of Texas A&M.
And that was a pretty play by Donovan Greer, going strides for stride with James Jett, a known speedster in the NFL, turning, looking at the ball, and breaking on it, sticking his arm out the last minute to swat the ball away.
Fourth punt of the day for Leo Araguz, who set the NFL record for punts in a game earlier this season against San Diego. Those two teams will be matched up once again 1 week from today. The Chargers and Raiders. Kevin Williams catches cleanly at the 30. Took the sideline route and got a couple of extra yards. 5-yard return following the 42-yard punt. The Bills offense will take. Jonathan Linton is in the backfield. 2 tight ends set for Doug Flutie. On a 1st and 10 from the 36. Linton trying to bounce off the would-be tackler Terry Wooden, as he was able to spin around, but Wooden held on. And for the Oakland Raiders, I think, Mark, you look big picture. Certainly this is an improvement from a year ago, but let's say they finished, for argument's sake, with 8 wins after winning just 4 last season. You say, well, a better season. But the way they ended their season, the way they got to 8 wins, that's a little difficult to swallow. It's one thing if you start out slowly and you win 3 of your last 4 to finish with 8. To lose 4 of your last 5, 7 of your last 8, that's tough to take.
Particularly when a team has a history of doing that over the last few years, and you'd like to finish strong, and I'm sure that's on John Gruden's mind. The last 2 weeks he wants to finish strong.
Antoine Smith wasn't looking, and Flutie trying to dump it off to the flat, incomplete.
Now, I've been in this position before. You fight through a season, you think you're going to go to the playoffs, and you're still not totally out of it, but you're dejected, you're on the road. This is a win where it's a must win. Well, last week was a must win, and they didn't come up. They came up short. And
3rd down, inbound spot.
And this week, here's a must-win for them also. And, it's total dejection. You're saying, hey, we've got a shot for the playoffs. At one time, they were 7-3, and now they're going to be 7-7 at the end of this game. That's the way it looks like it's going to be. And it's tough to get it together, and the guys have to rally, and they have to rally around each other in the locker room, because they're going to get a lot of arrows slinged in their direction from the media and from the fans when they get back to Oakland.
Bills are backed up because the officials ruled that was a lateral, a backward pass. And Buffalo forced to take a timeout as the play clock was winding down. Stops the clock with 4:59 to play in the 3rd. And the Bills with a 37-7 lead on the Oakland Raiders. Coming up tonight, 60 Minutes looks at Bill Clinton's game plan. Who tells him which plays work and which ones don't? You don't know? Guess what? You do. They'll explain it tonight on 60 Minutes. Then don't miss a very special holiday episode of Touched by an Angel, followed by Grace and Glory, a Hallmark Hall of Fame presentation starring Jenna Rollins and Diane Lane. A great night of entertainment right here this evening on CBS. Great day for football here in Orchard Park. Not too cold, obviously no snow. Mid-December, normally expect at least some sprinkles, if not some inches accumulating on the ground. On 3rd and 20, Flutie, little swing pass. Linton. Jonathan Linton getting past the original line of scrimmage as Lance Johnstone made the tackle, and the Bills come up short of a 1st down.
And Doug Flutie is just amazing. It's the way that he plays the game. It's at a different level. It's a different game. And he drifts back a lot. And as an offensive lineman, you don't like that, but he has a great touch on the ball. And we talked to him yesterday. He said, yeah, I drift a lot of times, and they told me in the CFL not to do it, in the USFL not to do it, in the NFL not to do it, but I'm still here playing football. And as an offensive lineman, if it's a 12-step drop, I want to know who that quarterback's going to be. But he says the offensive linemen are comfortable with it, and we've been successful with it.
Jonathan Linton with his first reception of his NFL career on that play. Chris Moore, the punter. Desmond Howard from the 24. Howard's got a lane. Desmond Howard turning on the afterburners, and he's gone. Touchdown, Oakland.
Desmond Howard, 78-yard return into the end zone for a winner's touchdown.
Desmond Howard taking it the distance, 76 yards, following the 40-yard punt.
Well, it's been a long time since Desmond Howard's returned one, and as you can see right there, it was back in Super Bowl 31, but this team needed a spark and a quick spark, and that's how you get back in the ball game, on a quick return like that for a touchdown, and that can give this team life. They can build on that. It's not like they're going to come back immediately, but John Gruden knows that he needed a shot in the arm, and he got it on that return by Desmond Howard.
The extra point from Greg Davis.
Davis's extra point is good.
And the Oakland Raiders cut into the Buffalo lead, but it's still 37-14.
And Desmond Howard gets a great block by Kenny Shedd on the play, follows his blockers in his lanes, and it's just off to the races at the end of the play. Right there, Kenny Shedd after Chris Moore, the kicker, and Desmond Howard never breaks stride, and he's gone into the end zone.
This is what they brought them to Oakland to do, and Howard has been unable to do it up until this point. He's been considered a disappointment, and question marks as to whether or not Howard's future in the NFL will be in the Bay Area. He's been bouncing around, Desmond Howard. Drafted originally by Washington, was with Jacksonville, Green Bay, of course, in the Super Bowl, and now the Oakland Raiders.
And he's a guy that in Washington they thought that he was going to be the solution in the heir apparent to Art Monk, and he never fulfilled those shoes. And Joe Gibbs, it was his last draft with the Redskins when he picked Desmond Howard. They thought he was going to be a star.
And one of 4 Heisman Trophy winners participating in the game here today. The President's Cup is coming up immediately following our coverage of the NFL here today on CBS. The international team currently leading the United States 14.5 points to 5.5, and you need to get to 16.5 points to win. The Heisman Trophy winners: Desmond Howard, Tim Brown, Charles Woodson. 3 for the Oakland Raiders. And of course Doug Flutie for the Buffalo Bills. Kevin Williams spun down on the sideline.
Williams on the return.
Mike Morton making the play on special teams. Talk about the Heisman. Ricky Williams getting that award last night at the Downtown Athletic Club in New York. Doug Flutie, of course, back in 1984. The miracle comeback against Miami, adding to the legend that is Doug Flutie. And really interesting talking to him yesterday. Obviously, he's happy with what he's been able to accomplish here, but you sense that he's also a bit upset that he never really got the chance to start in the NFL over a 7 or 8 year period. He went to Canada, enjoyed his time there, yes, but every time he had to prove himself all over again. And a mix-up. Flutie on the handoff for Antoine Smith. They collided as Terry Wooden was there to greet him. What do you think about speaking with Flutie yesterday?
And it's almost like he was a little bitter about it, but the time when Doug Flutie came out as a quarterback, that's when the quarterbacks in the NFL, they wanted this 6'4" prototype pocket quarterback that could drop back, read, throw the ball vertically downfield, throw the long outs with a strong arm. They weren't ready for this type of quarterback. Well, lately it's the Steve Youngs and the Cordell Stewarts and the mobile quarterback that can get away from the rush and improvise and make big plays. That's what's thriving in the NFL, and that's why Doug Flutie has come back, and he's doing terrific now in the NFL.
This is Flutie at his best, a 5-receiver set, getting the ball off and throwing it out of bounds. with an even 3 minutes to play in the third quarter. Pat Swilling applying the pressure and forcing Flutie out of the pocket. Wade Phillips told us, hey, it's just been fun watching this guy. You watch film after the game and you have to rewind it because you don't believe that he did it the first time around.
And a couple of times it's like, what was that? What was that? And Doug Flutie says, well, I've been making these plays ever since I've been in high school, so it's no big deal for me. It's not that I think about it. It's just a reaction because I've done it 100 times in my career.
6-2 as a starter this season for the Buffalo Bills, trying to make it 7-2 with Buffalo in front 37-14. They just get the play off. Flutie, plenty of time. Will tuck it and run. Doug Flutie, he got crushed.
Wow. At
the 35-yard line. Let us not forget Flutie claims to be 5'10", closer to 5'9", 175 pounds on that 12-yard run. Just take a listen to Doug Flutie trying to make something happen off the scramble.
And this is the impact of the NFL.
He did not get the brunt of that hit because he did duck his head just at the last second. Calvin Branch came in full steam and Flutie avoided a crushing blow. Bills forced to punt. Desmond Howard goes to the outside after returning the last punt for a touchdown. Big smile on his face. He's got that infectious grin, Desmond Howard. He is a likable guy.
Well, when you contribute like he has, and he did contribute today, feels good about himself. And I think he's going to help this team down the road. But you know, they need more out of Desmond Howard, not only as just a returner, but as a backup wide receiver.
Well, coming up next Sunday, most of you will see the Oakland Raiders travel to face their California nemesis, the San Diego Chargers, right here on CBS. Throwing on first down. Tim Brown, the intended receiver, was incomplete. In on the coverage, John Holisek. And the clock is stopped with 2:02 left in the third quarter. Still plenty of time, but the Oakland Raiders have just not shown enough offensively to give any indication they can get back into this game.
And they know they have to throw the ball, and they've got to do a better job of protecting Wade Wilson. Pat Williams came on the rush and dumped Wade Wilson down on the last play, but they're only rushing 4 rushers. They can protect Wade Wilson, and they need to do a better job of it.
Straight back. Ball is tipped. Nearly intercepted. Sam Cowart had a golden opportunity. Tim Brown was in the vicinity.
And this is a time where it's fun for the defense, but not fun for the offense, because you know those defenders are going to rush the quarterback. A lot of the times as an offensive lineman, you're going to be left one-on-one in space, and the defense is having fun. They're flying around trying to make big plays, interceptions, trying to cause fumbles, trying to get to the quarterback.
Now, a 3rd and 10 from the 27. The Raiders have 1 yard in the second half. Now they have less. 4th down. Aragoose. Take a couple of hops out of bounds. And the Bills. Hollis and George. On the pitch. Antoine Smith.
And Sam Gage.
Call it 2nd and 4. On the reverse. Kevin Williams stringing it to the outside. Williams cutting it back for the first down. Gash in the backfield. Johnson in motion. Antoine Smith straight ahead, and nothing there as Oakland was prepared, and there are the tempers flaring a bit, and maybe it is connected to what Mark was discussing regarding the reverse on the previous play. End of the third quarter. 37-14 Bills. Back after a word from your local station. Great defense, special teams. Flutie has shown us a thing or two here this afternoon. Thurman Thomas in the backfield. First play here in the 4th. And it was knocked away by Charles Woodson. Eric Moulds, the intended target. Take a look at the wild card update. Tampa Bay now leading Pittsburgh 13-3 in the third quarter. And Tennessee has taken the lead on Jacksonville 13-10. Another injured quarterback for the Jaguars.
Tom Coughlin's done an outstanding job of building the system down there, but you can't continue to lose 1 and 2 of your starting quarterbacks and stay competitive and win.
The Bills can get into the playoffs with a win over Oakland today, plus a Tennessee loss to Jacksonville and a Tampa Bay win over Pittsburgh. Flutie knocked down. Lance Johnstone getting a piece on 3rd and 8. That's been the criticism of Doug Flutie, but you know what? You see passes deflected at the line of scrimmage every week in the NFL. Not because a guy's just 5'9" does it happen. This is a big lineman with major wingspans.
Absolutely, and for Doug Flutie to sit back in the pocket, he's going to step up and throw the ball down the field, but Lance Johnstone gets good penetration. He just jumps at the end. It's a great play by a defender that's smart enough to know when the quarterback cocks his arm back to get your hands up in the air and jump.
Chris Moore, the punt. Desmond Howard already has a touchdown. He'll let this one bounce into the end zone. Oakland trailing 37-14. They'll be on offense when we come back. Welcome back, 37-14.
The kicking team, number 21, went out of bounds, came back in and touched the ball. It's a 5-yard penalty. Replay 4th down.
Late flag was thrown on the play. So the Bills will be forced to punt it again.
I think John Gruden wanted a clearer explanation than that, and he's not getting it. That's why he's upset, but ouch.
Not the way to get yourselves back into a ball game. Randy Jordan in the backfield. And Jordan gets the carry. Randy Jordan down the sideline, and that is his first carry of the season. A first down for Oakland.
We spoke with John Gruden yesterday about Randy Jordan. He's going to get some plays. Kind of excited, waiting to see.
Formerly with Jacksonville. Wilson throwing. It's John Ritchie, the fullback. And Ritchie gets ahead to the 45-yard line. Marlo Perry staggering to hold on to him as he was finally brought down to the turf after a 13-yard hookup. Ritchie out of Stanford. He was a transfer from Michigan. Coaches just love his work ethic. Starting fullback as a rookie. 1st and 10. Wilson gunning. Incomplete. Tim Brown.
Downs and pressures and turnovers he's committed throughout his career. That's a big part of what Bruce Smith does.
Smith was the first pick in the '85 draft. You just saw Jeff George, the first pick in the 1990 draft. They just were not on the same page on that play. But John Gruden's new offense, George was trying to get used to it himself. Eric Smedley on the safety blitz, and that's number 2 for him. Sees action in the nickel and the dime situations. On the punt from Aragoose. Takes a roll, and it's corralled by Terry Mickens. A 44-yard punt, no return for Kevin Williams. 37-14. It's all Buffalo.
Sponsored by Chevy S10. Like a rock. Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. And by Sun America, the retirement specialist.
The first of back-to-back home games for the Buffalo Bills as they lead the Oakland Raiders 37-14. Next Saturday, they are home for the New York Jets in a matchup that Buffalo Bills fans have been anticipating. Inside handoff, Sam Gash trying to push the pile as he gets it across the 20-yard line. About a 2.5, 3-yard gain on first down as Russell Maryland made the play. And depending upon what happens tonight between Miami and the Jets, Buffalo could be fighting for that division title in the AFC East. Flutie on a 2nd and 7. Gash in motion. Flutie wants to throw it. Little sideline route for Eric Moulds. A 10-yard pickup and a first down for Buffalo. Next Saturday, there it is. CBS Sports kicks off the weekend with an NFL national game. Vinny Testaverde and the Jets against Doug Flutie and the Buffalo Bills. It all begins at 12 Eastern with the NFL Today and also high-definition television where available. Southwest Airlines, the NFL Today, next Saturday at noon on CBS. After that, Buffalo will be at New Orleans to wrap up the season. Oakland is at San Diego and then home for Kansas City in week 17 of the NFL's regular campaign. Thurman Thomas able to advance the football to the 35-yard line. As the clock continues to roll, you expect Buffalo to just keep it on the ground for the most part. In the AFC East, you see the schedules. The Jets at Miami, at Buffalo, then home for New England. Miami with a tough schedule the rest of the way with the Jets, Denver, and then at Atlanta to wrap up the season. New England has San Francisco and the Jets, and we just told you about the Buffalo Bills.
And as tight as the AFC East race is, everybody's got a tough schedule down the stretch. There are no Molly Putzes at the end of the schedule. They all have tough games to play.
There are no what?
Molly Putzes.
I'm not familiar. Is that something I should know and I'm just missing here?
A Molly Putz in terms of football expression is, as a player, it's a soft cupcake out there that you go against in practice, but you're never going to see one of those guys in the game. So it's like an opponent that you play against. It's just not a tough opponent.
Is that in the NFL manual? Because I didn't see that preparing for this season.
That's, some of my terms like snot blower.
I see.
Slobber knocker.
Okay.
The old lineman jargon.
I see. You said what? What was the first one again?
Snot bubble.
Okay.
That's when somebody gives you a jarring hit in your chest and, all the wind and everything comes right up to your nose and a little bubble comes out of your nostril. It's a little gross, but that's offensive line jargon.
Never been there. Never done that.
It's not fun.
3rd and 6, Flutie out of the gun. Incomplete on the slant. Andre Reed, he's been making a living off of that route for about 14 years in the NFL. And the clock is stopped with 9:54 left in the 4th. Buffalo is in control. They lead at 37-14. They're forced to punt on a 4th down. Wade Phillips, first season as the head man in Buffalo, replacing a legend around these parts, Marv Levy. Early on, a lot of people around here were questioning whether or not it was the right move because of his laid-back demeanor. The team was 0-3. They've won 8 of their last 10, looking to make it 9 of 11. The punt from Moore. Howard takes it from the 13, sheds one tackler, and then goes to the sideline. An 11-yard return, 53-yard punt for Moore. And with 9:40 left, it's Buffalo 37-14.
It's what we call a global killer, the end of mankind.
You better not shout.
Somebody down 911!
You better not cry.
Just let it out.
You better not pout.
Something's wrong!
Yeah, it's all wrong, man. We shouldn't even be up here.
We're telling you why.
Not a soul on earth can hide from it.
Armageddon's coming to town.
It might just be a piece of the shuttle breaking up.
Yeah, it might be Santa Claus.
Own Armageddon on video before it's too late. Rated PG-13.
The more you do something, the better you get. State Farm's been settling car insurance claims for over 75 years. Millions of them. We've come up with a system that works so well that more drivers trust State Farm than all those cut-rate insurance companies put together. You're buying into that promise that we're going to be there to take care of you when the claim happens. Every day, State Farm handles over 30,000 claims. It's a practice makes perfect thing. That's the reason the competition doesn't stand a chance.
Today. It's been a long afternoon for the veteran. Wilson throwing. And the catch made by Tim Brown. Able to haul it in for Wilson.
Plays from the skill position people. That's not just Wade Wilson. He needs help.
He is under 100 yards, though, throwing the football. Going up the middle. Randy Jordan with Washington and Hanson collaborating on. Well, here's Wilson at 39. He will be 40 on February 1st. DeBerg at 44. That's just incredible. And Warren Moon now finds himself on the bench. Bailing out. He has it intercepted. Sam Rogers will take it back. Gabe Northern on the touchdown, a 40-yard return.
But Ian, again, the reason why there's an interception, Bruce Smith was in the face of quarterback Wade Wilson again. He does so much for this team. Big return by Gabe Northern, but without the pressure by Bruce Smith, pushing Wade Wilson back in the pocket and throwing that ball off of 1 foot, Gabe Northern does not get this interception and return it for a touchdown.
First interception return for a score since Cornelius Bennett did it back in 1995 against New England. And everybody's having some fun on this Buffalo defense. 4 turnovers for the Oakland Raiders. And playmakers.
And it's not that, it's the older veterans like the Thurman Thomases that help the younger players and bring them along, and Andre Reed to help the younger players. And they're very unselfish on this team, and that's why they're playing so well.
$1 million contract, warming up on the sidelines. He was penciled in as the starter this year until Flutie just took over. Johnson actually went out because of injury, and then what could Wade Phillips do? Doug Flutie was getting the job done, and Rob Johnson finds himself in a familiar role as backup. He used to back up Mark Brunell in Jacksonville.
But a lot of people tend to forget when the Buffalo Bills turned their season around earlier this season in the 4th game against the San Francisco 49ers, Rob Johnson was the starting quarterback.
Wild card update, Tampa Bay has knocked off Pittsburgh 16-3. On the draw, Randy Jordan spun down just shy of the 40-yard line by Sam Coward, and you might have heard a reaction from the Bills fans here at the stadium because they understand what it takes for Buffalo to get into the postseason. A Pittsburgh loss, that's half of it, or maybe I should say a third of it, because Buffalo needs to get a victory, a Pittsburgh loss, and a Tennessee loss to Jacksonville to clinch the playoff spot here today. 1/3 is complete, just about 2/3, because Buffalo will win this game with only 7 minutes left. Harvey Williams taking it straight ahead to the 40-yard line. Pickup of a couple on first down and a flag down. That Jacksonville, Tennessee game, very close, 13. Still a young player, 24 years old, but he is in his 3rd year. Randy Jordan. In Buffalo territory, right around the 45-yard line. And the Oakland Raiders know that the end is near.
And not only that, Ian, flying all the way across country and getting defeated like this in a game you had to win. Now you've got to go all the way back across the country, and that's a long ride. And it's in the back of these players' mind. First, they almost get embarrassed in their mind coming across country to Buffalo.
Give you a strange statistic in a moment. Wilson back to throw. Underneath the coverage to Ricky Dudley. Whether or not you buy into it, but over the last 3 years, the Raiders have traveled to the Eastern time zone 8 times. They are 2-6 in those games. Now, that might be partly because of the travel schedule and the jet lag, and the other part of it might be that they just weren't very good football teams.
Well, I think it's a combination of both, but if you go back and look at the history of the NFL, when teams travel from west to east, a lot of the games are at 1 o'clock, and they're playing at 10 o'clock in their time zone, and a lot of those West Coast teams don't fare very well on the East Coast.
3rd and 7 from the 42. Counting down to 5 minutes left in the 4th. On the pitch, Randy Jordan. He's got a first down as he's forced out of bounds inside the 35-yard line.
The trail the play.
Bruce Smith remains in the game, which you have to question at this point. Did not come in at 100%. As Harvey Williams is forced to the sideline by Wayne Simmons. Smith with that banged up knee. He told us yesterday that he wasn't even sure if he was going to play in this game. Obviously came out, felt good about it, started the game, has played basically the entire way through, but And with 4:23 left,
there's
why?
no reason to have him in there. And that guy's got a warrior's heart right there. And he'll do whatever it takes for his team to win. And this is a point in the game where he should not be in there. He should be on the sidelines. He didn't practice the entire week and still came out here and performed, and very well he performed for this Buffalo Bill football team.
Smith today, 4 tackles, 1 sack. Phillips, the former defensive coordinator for the Bills. Tim Brown is in. Touchdown, Oakland.
Complete to Tim Brown.
A 30-yard pass play. Wade Wilson hooked up with Brown for a touchdown last week when Wilson came in to replace Donald Hollis. And Wade Phillips not happy with his defense's effort.
Well, it's a blown coverage, and you expect help deep from the safety, but you've got to be on top of the play. And Henry Jones, the strong safety, really has that part of the zone. He needs to get deeper and at least stay with Tim Brown stride for stride. It's the only receiver in that zone area, but he didn't on that play. You don't like to give up a cheap play, particularly at the end of the game.
Should reiterate, Thomas Smith left this game in the first quarter, starting right cornerback for the Buffalo Bills with a spring knee. Phillips, the former defensive coordinator for the Bills. Tim Brown is in. Touchdown, Oakland.
Complete to Tim Brown.
A 30-yard pass play. Wade Wilson hooked up with Brown for a touchdown last week when Wilson came in to replace Donald Hollis. And Wade Phillips did not have enough, giving up points as well. That's a great play by Lonnie Johnson. Off of the onside kick from Leo Araguz. Johnson just stepping in front. And now the Bills with tremendous field position at the 33-yard line of Oakland.
Well, the Buffalo Bills are just having fun right now. And they have their good hands team out there. They're all wide receivers, running backs, tight ends, guys that handle the ball a lot. And Lonnie Johnson does a great job of attacking this football and coming up with it.
Well, you see the score on your screen. The New York Giants have taken a 20-16 lead on the Denver Broncos. Under a minute left in the fourth quarter, trying to hand Denver its first loss of the season. Rob Johnson has come in to replace Doug Flutie. Andre Reed, the motion man. Johnson on a pitch. Antoine Smith.
Antoine Smith from the pitch out.
Spun down at the 31-yard line by Grady Jackson. Smith coming into the day needed 77 yards to hit the 1,000-yard mark, and right now he's at 55 for the day.
And I like the idea of getting Rob Johnson some snaps. You never know what's going to happen in the playoff. You got a couple more weeks left. You want to keep your quarterbacks healthy, but you've got to get your backup guys some snaps in there and get them ready to play.
Doug Flutie told us yesterday that he went to a concert with Rob Johnson, and it turned out to be a real highlight of Johnson's life. He met Cher.
Gave her a limo ride. Her limo broke down, so he came back and picked her up in his limo and took her to the hotel.
That's the rumor. Antoine Smith brought down at the 15-yard line. Now with 73 yards on the ground, 4 shy of the 1,000-yard plateau.
And right now you're seeing the Antoine Smith drill. They're going to feed him the ball until he gets his 1,000, then he will leave the game. And like I stated before, he wants 1,400 or 1,500 yards, and that's where he feels he should be if he gets enough carries. But for him to pound it away, this is what you want to do at the end of the game. Just pound it away with your big offensive line and your running backs and kill the clock.
Guess where it's going? Antoine Smith moving ahead to the 10-yard line. A gain of 5, and that'll do it for Smith. He hits the 1,000-yard mark, the first Bill to do it other than Thurman Thomas since 1984. 2-minute warning. 44-21, Buffalo in front.
Is that Johnson's team behind us?
Exactly.
Are they members of Hertz #1 Club Gold?
Exactly.
Are we members of Hertz #1?
Not exactly.
So thanks to Hertz, they're going to get to the meeting on time.
And we'll be late?
So exactly what'll I tell the boss?
In Rent-A-Car, there's Hertz, and there's not exactly. Make sure you choose the right one.
And then a dog in the cargo hold 8-hour presentation.
Is he buying it?
Not exactly.
Hi, I'm Doug Flutie, pro football player and father of an autistic child. A lot of people buy Flutie Flakes because a portion of the proceeds go to help autistic children. But there's another way you can help. Dial 1010 distance. Talk up to 20 minutes for only 99 cents. And every time you use it, a donation will be made to the Doug Flutie Jr. Foundation. So dial 1010-220, talk up to 20 minutes for only 99 cents, and help some great kids at the same time. It's a win-win situation. I wish football was this easy.
Guys, you've always made me look great.
And Thurman Thomas, who's had an incredible career with the Buffalo Bills, recognizing that. Jonathan Linton getting the carry as he grinds it out inside the 10. James Harris and Russell Maryland making the stop. And the clock will move with 1:49 left and ticking. And you mentioned it earlier, Mark, the fact that it's a nice mix on this team. Young players, older players, and heir apparents. Doug Flutie helping to teach Rob Johnson, Thurman Thomas and Antoine Smith, Andre Reed and Eric Moulds, and Bruce Smith, along with Marcellus Wiley, who the Bills hope will become a dominant pass rusher in the years to come. 3rd and 3. Keep it on the ground. And nothing there for Linton. He lost a couple on the play. Richard Harvey with the tackle. 4th down, a minute left.
And Wade Phillips is not going to rub this in by kicking a field goal. They're going to keep their unit on the field and run it again. And if they get a touchdown, great. If they don't, they just turn the ball over to Oakland. But that's class. And at this point in time, they scored enough points where it's not going to come down to a tiebreaker or anything like that. They've done their job. Offense, defense, special teams. His team played as a unit today, and there's no reason to rub it into this defensive football team of the Oakland Raiders.
4th and 5. Should be the final play. On the pitch, Linton. Knocked out of bounds by Calvin Branch. Linton wants the first down pertaining to this one. Tennessee and Jacksonville tied at 13 in the 4th quarter. If Jacksonville knocks off the Oilers, then the Buffalo Bills are going to the playoffs. Buffalo has taken care of business. The Bills cruise to a 44-21 victory over the Oakland Raiders, and they are on the brink of clinching a spot in the postseason. Buffalo improves to 9-5. The Raiders, they've fallen fast as they drop to 7-7. And after tonight, they might find themselves out of the playoff picture altogether. 44-21, Buffalo with the victory. The final, 44-21. Right now, let's join Jacksonville and Tennessee, Gus Johnson and